Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Forgotten City. I went ahead and came through the portal. You know, we broke the golden rule last time, and, what's that? Oh, that's that thing on the top. But I just finished, we went through the portal. I just got done talking to Galerius, so he'd run and go do his stuff. And now we want to go talk to Ariella, or Ariella? Ariella? I don't know how to say her name. This weirdo right here. Because we kind of need that wine to give to Claudia so she can ruin
You're
Malleus.
here. I'm so glad you decided to
hush,
visit.
hush.
And, you're not like...
Let's see, I guess you never met anyone as fabulously wealthy as I am.
Well, since you bring that up, let's cut to the chase. What are you worth?
You first. What sort of dowry could I expect?
You know what? We don't need to talk about money.
You don't have any. Actually, you
But
do.
enough about that. I want to know all about you.
We gotta select Malleus.
Good answer.
Alright, now I picked these two answers and they were wrong. I don't think this one will be good. I'm just gonna say I just can't stand Cynthia's because maybe that'll work.
Come on. At least say it like you mean it. Not because it's what you thought I wanted to hear. I take back what I... Let's just forget that. All right.
Huh. So that didn't work either.
Cerberus lifts his triple head
Well, I
and lets out his threefold graying.
don't want to just go ahead and restart the day again. So what we can do is Pandora's box. We can go talk to Equitia about... I want to know how to get in there too. That stupid golden statue. Maybe we'll learn how to do that. Oh, game's tripping. Yeah, I just don't want to restart the day and have to edit that out. But so let's go ahead and do Pandora's box today. Man, I just don't know what option to pick when I'm talking to her to get her to not be a butthole and talk to me. Are you in here? Yes, you are. Equitia, that's her name.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you.
Okay. Hold on.
See you again soon.
Was it Equitia? Perhaps the priestess might be able to help her. She's the only priestess, right? Huh. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and
Ave again.
talk to her about this. I've been asking people how they found out. Okay.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me, but you've come to the right person. Did you find a pattern then? What have you noticed?
Yeah, some people mentioned coins, some people mentioned rivers, some people mentioned memory lapses, some people mentioned an encounter with a stranger at a riverbank. It's all of these, really. Dacius, but the memory lapses.
That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here.
There we go.
What else?
A coin.
Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else?
Yes, the river.
Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through.
Ah.
Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here?
I did.
And did you happen to catch her name?
Karen.
I see. And was this Karen by any chance wearing a hood?
She was wearing a hoodie. How could you have known that?
Because I've seen her before.
Oh.
There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Uh-oh.
But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
I mean, we could just bathe together. We'll give her a little bit of a head start. Do-do-do-do. Alright. This is interesting. So that's what I thought. Karen was a little weird. Because she was trying to get us to go look for Al. Still don't know who Al is. Oh, dang, dude. Oh, I can get the wooden bow. I'll take those arrows, though. Oh, he had some, yeah, I'll take that. Oh, see, I don't need the wooden bow, because I have the gold bow. Alright, we can go in now. She's way ahead of us. Interesting, I didn't know that. So I can always go back to that dude and the next day and get it. Oh. Alright, game had to load a new area. This sucks because, like, my computer, I don't know what's going on. My graphics card's good, like, well, way good enough for this game, and my computer, my processor's way good enough for this game. So I just don't understand why I constantly go through these load freezes going into an area. It's not, I mean, I don't think the graphics are too heavy. Ooh, it's dark in here, baby. What happened to you? Yeah, there's that big hole we all fell through.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon,
Charon.
the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change.
Huh.
Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute.
Oh.
Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
Oh.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means.
Yeah, this place is the underworld?
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
Well, there's a whisper trying to help us, but why would we get turned to golden? Why would people get turned to golden statue? Why is there only 22 people if this is the afterlife? Or 23 people here, 22 or 23 people. None of it makes sense.
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
So, we're obviously alive. Because we were like in the, our current time, and we stepped through a portal. So maybe they're all dead, but we're not, and we're trying to save them to let their souls rest in peace, maybe? Huh, let's continue.
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
I'll put a golden bow or arrow in her face. Yes, why there's so few people in the underworld?
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins?
He's just a coin collector.
In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. And that might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Okay.
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help. I promise you.
Okay, that's it.
Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity.
Yep.
We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options. To confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
Yeah, let's see. Can't we just escape the way we came in?
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
I notice you seem uncomfortable calling the god of the underworld by his name.
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
How you know?
Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows?
Great.
Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But
Don't
first,
know.
you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the Great Temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
Okay. Yeah, what can you tell me about the obelisk?
It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the Great Temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
Oh. Alright, where will we find the Roman plaque?
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course.
Yeah.
They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them
I already know
won't be
2,
easy.
well 3, because
But I
Ulpius.
did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque.
Greek?
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local
Yep,
Greek fellow,
Georgius.
His store is in the
Oh,
forum.
and Dooley. Egyptian?
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us.
I don't even know where Kabash is.
Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago.
Oh.
But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room.
Yeah, we'll just look in his room.
I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps finding the other 3 will illuminate the way.
Okay, tell me more about escaping with the help of Proserpina.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale.
Yep.
It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
That's horrible.
It is. The gods are a mirror image of mankind, as far as cruelty is concerned, I'm afraid. If the stories are true, I imagine she's as desperate to escape as we are. If she really did help Orpheus and Sisyphus, perhaps she'll help us too. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
I have. It's the whisper. Yeah, I hear a female statue whispering to me every now and then.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia.
Yep.
Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
It's always the same voice, and she's helpful, if a little cryptic.
Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself.
Yeah.
If she has
Maybe.
indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Nope. Perhaps she said wait against the current, whatever that means.
That is strange.
I remember her seeing that.
There are no rivers here. Let me think on that.
Yeah, perhaps I need to get into the upper cistern.
Right, because the current flows into the city through the aqueduct and into the upper cistern. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight.
Yep.
You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone.
Yeah.
The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
Yeah. Let's start by talking with Livia first, because that's
In
interesting.
any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna
Well, I have
guide
all the
you.
time in the world, because I can just
Although
go
you may
back in
not
time.
meet her with Proserpina on your side.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Huh. Okay, well, we're going to start by talking with Livia, but we are going to do that on the next video. So, thank you all so much for watching. And we definitely learned a lot this episode, unlike the last episode. Well, we learned in the last video too what we needed to do for Galerius. But it all seems like it's coming back to that upper cistern, something secretive there. And we have a choice: either get I forget her name, Persephone, whatever freaking name is, help, or confront this Pluto, as she told us to call him, face to face. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So, have a good day. Talk to you later.